Hey friends, welcome back to our chapter reading. Today we are continuing with Snow Day by Marsha Thornton Jones and Debbie Dady. And the illustrator is Amy Woomer. So when we left off last time, all the dogs had found out that they were stranded. Oh my gosh, they weren't going to be able to go home that night. So we're going to start with chapter 5 called Bubba's Fault. I hope Fred has enough kibble to go around, Floyd said. I hopped up, my 2 paws on the windowsill, to look out into the yard. It was totally white. Snow hit the window like tiny frozen marbles. I had chill bumps from my pointy black nose to my shiny pink toenails. Wasn't it about time for Maggie to come home from school? Maggie, I barked. Maggie, Maggie, Maggie! Blondie put her paws on the windowsill. Maggie is fine, she said. All our humans are fine. Fred called them at home. There's a picture of them looking out the window. They're probably very worried about their humans. Maggie isn't home, I told her. She's at school. Blondie shook her head. Humans come home early during a storm like this. Maggie is safe and sound. But we're not, Woodrow said. We're stranded here at Barkley's School for Dogs. I dropped back down to the floor. It didn't seem fair that humans got to stay at home during a snowstorm, but dogs had to stay at school. I wanted to be with Maggie, but I figured we should make the best of a bad situation. Maybe it won't be so bad, I told my buddies. It'll be an adventure. No sooner were the words out of my mouth when our bad situation suddenly got worse. Sweetcakes marched across the floor and stopped right in the middle of the room. She lifted her snout and howled until every dog in the room was listening. Where's that bothersome Bubba? This blizzard is all his fault. Yeah, Bubba's fault, Clyde panted beside Sweetcakes. For the first time that day, Bubba's tail stopped wagging. There's Sweetcakes howling in the middle of the room. Sweetcakes scared most of the dogs at the school plumb silly, but not Woodrow. Age made Woodrow brave. He stood up on his stubby legs and looked Sweetcakes in the eyes. You leave that little pup alone, Woodrow said. This blizzard isn't his fault. Bubba wished for snow, Sweetcakes said with a snarl. Well, he got his wish, and now I'm stuck with all of you for the night. It's bad enough I have to put up with you during the day. Evening is my time with Fred. It's Bubba's fault, and he has to pay for this. I knew Sweetcakes was wrong. It was a Fido fact that Bubba's wish hadn't caused the storm. I knew one thing, though. If wishes could come true, I would wish that every snowflake would disappear. Then I could go home where I belonged with Maggie. Chapter 6, Sleepover Fun. I wanted to snarl. I wanted to howl. I wanted to tie Sweetcake's tail in a knot, but unfortunately it was way too short for knots. Unlike me, Woodrow remained calm. We're not any happier about this than you are, Woodrow told Sweetcakes. That's a Fido fact, Floyd mumbled. Leave Bubba alone, Woodrow said, and I was surprised to hear a hint of a growl in his warning to Sweetcakes. He might not look it, but Woodrow was one of the bravest dogs at Barkley's. There's Woodrow talking to Sweetcakes. He stood up to Sweetcakes, and that took a lot of guts. Sweetcakes curled a lip over one of her fangs and glared down her long nose at Woodrow. Come on, Clyde, she said. This mutt isn't worth our trouble. Not worth it, Clyde said with a nod of his heavy head. Not worth it at all. Clyde followed Sweetcakes to the other side of the room. Whew, Blondie said. That was a close call. Bubba peered from his hiding place behind me. Why is Sweetcakes mad at me? He asked. I gave Bubba a little nudge. You didn't do a thing, I told him. Sweetcakes is just mean, Floyd added. Don't listen to her. She wants to be alone, I explained. But why? Bubba asked. Isn't a snowstorm more fun when you share it with friends? Of course it is, Blondie said. Everything is more fun with friends. Let's ignore Sweetcakes and have some sleepover fun. There's all the dogs talking together. Bubba didn't need to hear it twice. He bounded across the room to play tag with Casanova. After Casanova got tired, Bubba grabbed Floyd's tennis ball for a quick game of keep-away. Then Bubba snatched Rhett and Scarlett's chew toy from them. The sight tickled my funny bone, which is, of course, connected to my tail. My tail, if I do say so myself, is truly something to behold. It's long and furry. Bubba must have thought it was fun to chase, too. He hunkered down. His little rump started twitching. Then, before you could say pain in the puppy, that little fellow pounced. What else could I do with puppy teeth sunk into my tail? I howled, "Ow!" Did Bubba let go? Of course not. He's a puppy. "Ow!" I howled again as I tried to grab one of his ears. I think Bubba held on even tighter. This called for a wonder dog howl. "Ow!" Bubba didn't pay any attention to me, but somebody else did. Sweet Cakes. There's Bubba biting onto his tail. Silly puppy. All right, friends, that's the end of chapter 6. So join me back next time and see what did Sweet Cakes do when he paid attention to the howl. See you next time.